Welcome to Guns 101, our video welcome message for new gun owners, brought to you by the Self-Defense Radio Network. I'm Rob Morris from Self-Defense Gun Stories. My partners are Amanda Suffolcool from Eye on the Target Radio, and the guy behind the curtain doing that heavy tech lifting, that's Paul Lathrop from the Polite Society podcast. We have Tom and Diane Walls from the Firearms Academy of Seattle with us tonight. Okay, talk to me. A bunch of people said, I've got a gun, and they think they're just gonna step right in to wearing it. Tom and Diane, what do they need to learn about the things that gun owners know to wear a gun?
Well, first off, good evening. Thanks for having us on. The first thing, it's helpful to realize that everything that most people have seen about guns is wrong, except if you're watching Tom Selleck or John Wick. The real world is much different. So we are going to try to give you in 10 minutes or less about an hour and a half of stuff to make you aware. Concealed carry means hidden, okay? You go into a bank and you're going to rob it because you're the bad guy. Who's the first guy you shoot? The openly armed guard. I like to stay under the radar. I mean hidden. That way nobody can take the gun from me. If they don't know I have one to begin with, I can leave. I've got a tactical advantage. So let's just talk right now about on-body carry, not about bra holsters or fanny packs or stuff. Let's just keep it simple, which means a couple of things. Diane?
A couple of things. You need to blend in with your clothing to hide the gun. You need to seriously carry the gun so that it stays put. I'm reading this is strange here. Okay. And safely carry the gun.
You've been married so long, you should be able to read my handwriting, dearest.
Okay, so what am I going to carry the gun with? I need to have a holster. And what am I going to put that holster on? A belt is always a good thing. Carry it around your waist. It's easy to reach if you possibly can. So you need a holster, and there's some things you need to consider when you choose a holster. You need something that's going to hold the gun securely.
Okay, we've got a couple examples. We're going to be using dummy guns. These are not live guns. This is a chunk of plastic that's the same shape as the guns I have. Here's an example of a holster. The holsters are made specifically for gun types. Don't buy the one size fits most. Spend $1 and get a decent holster. Okay. It fits specifically. It threads onto the belt. This particular one is made of leather. Okay. The rule of thumb is if you can put a loaded gun in there and carefully and safely shake it, it shouldn't fall out of the holster. Okay, so it needs to be stiff. The mouth needs to stay open so that you can reholster one-handed. Okay.
Yep. The trigger needs to be covered all the way so that there's nothing that can get into there and accidentally pull the trigger.
And stuff will.
Mr. Murphy loves to put stuff into your holster. It's at all possible. So it's got to cover that trigger guard. We've already covered it has to stay in there when you tip it. Another reason for having it stay in the holster is if, a lot of times attacks involve you being knocked to the ground.
They're a little dynamic.
And it would be pretty embarrassing, not to mention hazardous, to have your gun go flying off across the pavement when you hit the deck. So yeah, you got to have that gun in the holster and have it stay there.
So
now you showed us a holster hooked to a belt. Is will any belt work, or is that a specific belt to?
You should ask. Okay, I've got a couple of holsters on this belt. This is, if I can down rig this a little bit. Okay, this is a gun belt. It's fairly thick.
Okay.
This particular brand.
Can you hold it a little higher, please?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So
just below your face. There.
Yeah, it doesn't flop too much. Taking this dummy gun again with another good holster. This is my fancy rattlesnake skin holster with a floppy belt. You see the problem?
Wow.
You need that holster to keep that gun in one place all the time without moving around. So if I have to get it, I don't have to search for it on my belt. So the belt and the holster are important. We like threaded through the holster belts. Clips, paddles, and we're hitting this really fast. Work but not as well. I want every guarantee I can
On
get.
something that if I'm drawing the gun, the whole holster isn't going to come out with the gun.
We have seen that on the range. It's exceptionally
Amusing.
well, yeah. As long as it's not you, it's embarrassing as well. And there are safety issues. So the holster and the belt both need to be stiff. We like to buy them from the same place.
I'd like to make a point about belts here.
Yes.
Before you decide that I will never wear a belt, there's something called a contour cut belt. You can see there's a curve on it. The curve, it's wider on the bottom than on the top, so it will take into account
Let me get our assistant.
Curvature of a woman's waistline. Some women have really curvy waists. Some women don't have as curvy waists, but this makes it a lot more comfortable to mount all that equipment on and still wear a belt, even though you don't like belts.
So there are two common materials. There's leather, and there's Kydex. You'll hear the term. It's basically a thermoplastic. Both work. There are good ones and bad ones of everything. Okay.
Now that's for belts or for holsters?
This is for both. Let's talk holsters right now. Okay. This is a leather holster. Let me get her. It's stiff, but there's a problem with this. Doesn't cover the trigger guard, and to remove the safety snap, I am fiddling around with the trigger. That's a bad one.
We keep it over there.
Okay. This one is made for, where's my dummy gun? There's the dummy gun. For small of the back carry, right in the small of your back. Looks wicked, boss. I've got a chunk of metal sitting on the small of my back. I can't reach it if I'm sitting. Certainly can't reach it in a car when I have a seatbelt. And when I end up on the ground in a fight, I just fell on a big chunk of metal. So we don't recommend small to back holsters.
Not only that, you could hurt your spine, but also you can't draw the gun if you're laying on it.
Yeah. Also consider that holsters, like a lot of stuff, are expendable and consumable, and they do wear out. This is I'm not going to name the brand because this was a quality holster that I bought. It's Kydex, it's plastic. I don't know if you can see it real well, but it broke right here. This is a stress point. It just happens. I also teach handgun retention, and we decided to really reef on some holsters. And this breaks. So you need to inspect your holsters periodically.
Check them for tightness.
Check them so you do the upside down thing. Check for wear. Check for breaks if it's a plastic one. If you have a hybrid holster, it's got leather here. They're exceptionally comfortable. They are. There's a plastic thing on the outside. The leather sometimes will flop over and catch in the trigger guard with time. At that time, what do?
Get a new holster.
Get a new holster. Spend $1 on a holster. As far as concealment, if you can carry on the waistline, you're golden. You can carry outside the waist. Okay. This is an inside the waistband holster. It doesn't show below.
You got to turn a little more so we can.
Sorry.
See.
I know what I'm doing.
Show them your
Okay,
hip.
there you go. There you go.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Snaps. I can unsnap it. This gun is live and loaded, but it's safely in the holster. And then I can put it back in. The gun handling is safe. I can hide it with anything that hides my waistline. As far as the clothing, that's a whole long thing, and I see we're running low on time. Might be an idea for a video. Get one of your instructors to talk about clothing.
Now, I have a question then. You mentioned the hybrid holster.
Yes.
And when you pick up a hybrid holster, the leather is giant sized. So how hard is it to put a dinner plate in your pants and then break it in? Because that's the analogy that I hear a lot.
That is very much build dependent. It doesn't work for me at all because I'm rather barrel shaped in the torso. Somebody that's
delightfully barrel shaped.
Thank you, dear. Yeah. Anyway, for some people it works, and for some people it doesn't. If I've heard a lot of people say that once you get used to that, it's really super comfortable, but it takes up a lot of real estate on your pants.
Exactly. Okay. Any last little point before we close up this video? Because there's so much more to cover, but
so much more. The basics, everyday carry. If you're going to carry every day, you need a gun in a holster, on a belt, with spare ammo, because that's the quickest way to fix a malfunction. Have a flashlight. You'll be a rock star when you lose the copy machine at work. And carry your cell phones. You can call the cops.
Okay, there we go. Tom and Diane Walls from the Firearms Academy of Seattle. You can find their website, firearmsacademy.com, and check them out. There's more videos too, so go look for those in Guns 101.